Hello everybody, I had a viewer ask me about the companion build and what you should take as you are leveling up, so I figured I'd go ahead and answer that question and do kind of a deep dive into this build. And I also wanted to do some updates to it because there's been a lot that's changed, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. So if we go to the skill tree, now when it comes to leveling up, you're going to want to take Claw, level 1, just go 1 point here, grab both of these, come down here, you want to grab Shred, grab both of these. Then you're going to kind of come down here. You're going to have to put a couple points into here, and you don't really need any of this stuff necessarily, so you can just skip taking anything and just put points into Shred here once you get into this area. But then you're going to want to go ahead and get your wolves, pick up your poison creeper, then pick up your ravens, and then after you do that, you're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to fill this one out. Then come up here, fill this one out, and then you can fill this one out, and then you want to come down here. Don't pick up any of these passives yet. Don't pick up this passive yet. You can get rabies, and you're only going to want to get rabies if you have this legendary here that makes it to where your wolf companions are now werewolf companions, can spread rabies, because I believe having this skill buffs the speed in which everything spreads. So that would be the reasoning behind getting it. Otherwise you don't necessarily need this, and by taking it you're not going to have, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So after all the companions you're only going to have one skill slot left, and you're probably going to want to get an ultimate, so you don't necessarily need to take this. So then after you do that, just keep putting points into ravens, or come back here if you still need to get some more points to get to your ultimate. Go ahead, pick up your ultimate. Now at this point you should need like about 6 or 7 points to get to here. So go ahead and start filling things in. So I would come back here. Now if you don't have any legendaries yet still, I'd probably just max out Poison Creeper. Then I'd make sure my Shred and my Claw are maxed out. And then I'd go max out Wolves and then Ravens. Then I'd pick up the Call of the Wild, and then as soon as I can, whenever that happens to be, I'm going to pick up Lupine Ferocity. Every 6 werewolf skill hit critically strikes and deals 60% increased damage, so that's going to be pretty solid. And it says werewolf skill hit, remember that. So every 2 full casts of Shred is going to make the last one critically hit and deal 60% increased damage, so that's going to be pretty good. So then after that, after you start having these things kind of maxed out, you can come down here and you can grab the shape-shifting skill, transforms you into a different form, deals 15% increased damage. Shape-shifting fortifies you for 5% of your base life, so this will be really good defense. Now if you do need defense, don't be afraid to get rid of ravens early on, because ravens really isn't that great until you have shepherd's aspect. So don't be afraid to get rid of ravens if you need a flex spot early on to take a defensive ability. Like for example, you could take Bloodhowl in this, and this will give you essentially like a pseudo extra potion that gets reduced on kills, so you actually will get to press this a lot. Or if you want to, you can go for this and get a barrier. Either of these work, but I wasn't really having survivability issues, so so this is what I'm gonna do. But anyway, this is gonna be it. So just make sure that by 50 you look like this, and keep in mind that the legendaries are going to guide you in terms of like how you're exactly and like what you're going to focus on, because if you get aspect of the alpha, obviously you want to try to max out your wolves as fast as you can. If you were to get aspect of the blurred beast, then you would really want to maximize your vine creepers faster. So let's go ahead and let's get into the gear now so we can understand how all the gear is going to interact with our various abilities. So first off, we have the main one, aspect of the alpha. Your wolf companions are now werewolf companions, and they deal it's going to be 70 or 150% to, or no, 125% to 200% damage, I believe, or something like that, or 175% to 100% damage. I don't know, I'm bad at math, but this is going to do double because you have it on a two-handed weapon. Then you have aspect of the Stampede. This is going to give you one additional companion and make your companion skills deal 10 to 20% bonus damage. Then you're going to have Aspect of the Blurred Beast. While dashing, Shred seeks out nearby poisoned enemies, instantly dealing 60 to 90% of the poisoning damage to them. And keep in mind, every single cast of Shred dashes. Then we're going to have Shepherd's Ring. Core skills deal an additional 6 to 8% of damage for each active companion. And then Aspect of the Wild Rage. Your companions gain the bonuses from the Bestial Rampage key passive. If you don't know what that does, it gives them 20% increased attack speed and 20% increased damage. So pretty solid considering this is going to be a companion build. So real fast, let's do a breakdown of which legendaries synergize with which skills the best. So first off, if you get Shepherd's Ring, this is when you're going to want to have Ravens, because Ravens is going to give you the most companions. It's going to give you 3 because you can take 2 additional Ravens down here. So you'll get the most damage on your core skills if you take this. Now, once you get Aspect of the Stampede, that's also going to buff. That's going to make your Wolves a lot better, but it's also going to make your Ravens better too, because it's going to give you 1 more of these. So then you're going to have 4 of these. You're going to have 3 of these. So once you get this and this, like these 2 combos, you're really going to want to make sure that you have that you at least have Wolves out and Ravens out, because it's going to buff your damage by a ton, whereas the Poison Creeper, you only get 2 whenever you have that combo. You're still going to want the Poison Creeper, because Poison Creeper is going to be really strong, but like I said, it's just about like when you max something out. It's not that you're not going to. It's just about when, as you get the legendaries. Now, if you were to get Aspect of the Blurred Beast, you would really want to max out Vine Creeper, and the reason why is because your Shred is going to do 60 to 9% of the poisoning damage to them, but it does not consume the poison, so keep that in mind. So it's almost like doing pseudo double poison damage to things that are poisoned. So, if you have Vine Creeper poison on them that's doing a ton of damage, and then you use Shred on them, it is going to just absolutely blow them up. So you're going to want to make sure that you max out the Vine Creeper first. Now you can take Aspect of the Blurred Beast and you can put it on your amulet if you want. Honestly, looking at this, I think this is probably a bigger damage increase being on the amulet than what Aspect of the Stampede is. But either or, whatever your preference is. So that's it for the legendaries. Going over the unique items, and you're not going to get these until later, but these are going to be good to pick up at some point. If you don't, before you get the unique items though, the main one you are going to want is going to be, where is it at? Where is it at? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Protecting aspect? No. Yes, Skinwalker's aspect. When you use a shapeshifting skill that changes your form, gain X life. If you are at full health, gain the same amount as fortified. This is 100% going to be one of the best defensive legendaries you can get on your chest. When it comes to the helm, you probably just want to go for the disobedience. It's going to give you a pretty big armor stack, so that's going to be it for that. When it comes to pants, it really doesn't matter. There isn't anything too amazing. I mean, you could go vigorous aspect since you're doing werewolf stuff. 10 to 15% damage reduction while you're a werewolf. Nothing else really stood out to me as like super duper amazing. So you could do this one though. You heal for X life per second for each close enemy up to X life per second. So if you're having trouble surviving, those are some pretty solid defensive legendaries to look out for. And then on the boots, you can go Wind Striker aspect. Critical strikes grant 8 to 16% movement speed. So now onto the boons. We're going to take wariness, increase critical strike chance, increase critical strike damage. Pack leader, which is going to be the best boon by far for this. Critical strikes have up to a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of your companion skills. This is the big part of the reason why, if you look at the Vine Creeper passive, we took this one over this one, because this one gives us 20% increased crit versus things that are strangled by Poison Creeper. So if you get lucky, you are going to be chain Poison Creepering you're going to be chain using your wolves, chain using your ravens, which by the way, your ravens also increase how much critical strike chance against enemies they take. So this is going to be the first boon that you're really going to want to get if you can early. This is just going to be the best one to go for this build. The rest of this stuff really isn't that crazy. Critical strikes or shape-drifting skills heal you for 3% of your max life. Nothing too wild. You don't have nature magic skills necessarily, so you don't really need to worry about that. I mean, you could potentially deal a little bit of light damage, but even then you don't really, so it's, nothing else is really that great. The main thing is just pack leader here. Okay. Going into the Paragon, it's going to look something like this. The heck is going on? There we go. So starting tile, pick up damage, first glyph, glyph of the wilds. For every intelligence within 5 range, deal 5% increased damage. It's going to come out to be like 30% because there's going to be about 5 intelligence nodes in this area. And then the passive portion of your companion skills deal 80% increased damage. Then we're going to want to go up. You're going to want to go into the board that has heightened malice. While there are 3 or more poisoned enemies nearby, you deal 45% increased damage. Everything's going to be poisoned virtually all the time because of mind creepers, so this is really good. For this, you want to go poisoning damage effects last 33.3% longer and deal 2% increased damage to poison targets, and then make sure you just take all the 5%, all the damage to poisoned enemy nodes on the way up, more poison damage enemy nodes, then you have survival ones here. At this point, we're going to go over here. After spending 75 spirit, you deal 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. Then we're going to come over here, take the core skill and the basic skill damage stuff, come up here, we're going to take Bane. Poisoning damage effects have a 10% chance to deal double the amount of damage over their duration. You deal 2% increased poison damage. Go ahead, pick up the core skill damage, and then we will hop on out and make sure that you pick up all the intelligence in this area as well. Then we come up here, we want the werewolf skill damage, and then we're going to come over here, pick up legendary. Critical strikes with werewolf skills restore 2 spirit. Now these next 2 are interchangeable. These are just going to be better than the other ones since you're not really using any other types of skills. You're not really using storm skills and stuff like that. So then we are going to come up here. Boom. So Fang and Claw grant 50% bonus to all magic nodes while in werewolf or werebear form. Close enemies take 12% increased damage from you. Solid. Pick up all the werewolf skill damage. Go up through here. Boom, 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 boom. You and your companions deal 10% increased non-physical damage. So that's just going to be a 10% increase to poison damage really, because that's the only other type of damage we use. And then boom, 5% shape-shifting skill damage, so just buffing your werewolf stuff again. Giving yourself more attack speed. And then picking up after shape-shifting, your spirit costs are reduced by 10% for 5 seconds, up to 30%. So this is going to be a pretty big spirit cost reduction, which is going to make you be able to shred a ton more. Alright, so that is going to be it for Paragon. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully it helps answer your questions about what to do, how to go about leveling, and how to guide yourself as various legendaries fall. Keep in mind, you really just want to go the route of the legendaries that you get that are good over everything while leveling. That is going to be more important. So if you don't even get companion legendaries, and let's say you get landslide legendaries, dude, just start building landslide. Like, just do that. Like, don't overthink it. Just let the legendaries guide you. This is a good base build that even without legendaries is going to work really well because of the adjustment that they made. This used to do the 300%. They nerfed it down to 10 to 20%, and then they almost doubled and tripled all the companion active damage. So the companions are way better now. So this build will get you by even without legendaries. However, if you start to find legendaries, just go where they lead. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time.